just sitting motionless. Is that an Impala alarm calling?
Yeah.
Where's Hosanna?
Sounds like in the camp. Might be the lawnmower.
It could have been the crocodile maybe that this Impala saw, but there's an Impala alarm calling, and well, it wouldn't surprise me if one of our leopards is around as well. It stopped calling now. No, there we go, they're all calling. I wonder if there's not a leopard right here that we just can't see. Let's just go forward quickly, Ferg, because the Impalas are there. They're staring in our direction. It's where the crocodile was. Maybe they just saw the croc walking and they got a bit nervous, but it was a very delayed response, that's for sure. I don't see a leopard anywhere here. And they're snorting towards where the crocodile is, so it must be at the croc that they're busy shouting at. The croc is just slinking off now and going deeper into Chitwa Dam. They don't look too panicked, do they? It's not like a leopard panic that they get. So I don't think one of our leopards is here. I just thought for a second, maybe, you never know. Sometimes when things are hidden in the bush, you'll find that these guys do see it and we just need a different angle. But there goes the croc deeper in, and the Impalas are kind of facing this direction. There's nothing behind us on the dam wall, no. Now, I believe that you guys are getting a slight crackling sound on my mic again. It's Jigger's little flaw at the moment, so I do apologize about that. I hope that it won't get too bad and that it'll go away. But it's the first time that I've seen these Impalas alarm call at this crocodile. I've never seen this before, and so I don't know if maybe there's a predator, another predator that's sitting somewhere in this thicket where these Impalas are looking, because there is a thicket in here that potentially could be housing a cat. But they're looking kind of directly towards where the croc was swimming off. So maybe they do alarm call for crocodiles when they see them. Interesting. Like I say, first time I've seen them alarm call at this crocodile. And I've seen this crocodile here many, many times lying on the bank, and all kinds of animals walking past that area. But these two Impalas are not happy at all about said crocodile moving around. And so, interesting. Don't know why they're upset about it, but anyway, I suppose it is a predator and it is dangerous. Good. Well, we'll check around just in case and make double sure that there's not a spotty cat sitting in amongst all of this. And while we do that, let's send you back across to Ali, who's at a different waterhole.
We are at a different waterhole. We've decided to come all the way to Twin Dams. Now, unfortunately, the sticks moved down to the drainage line, or the dry riverbed that is the Molowati, and they've gone in there and they're pretty much static and flat. So I wonder if they didn't hear the Impala that are rutting here. Seems like Senzo hurt himself somehow. Are you okay?
Yeah, something is biting me.
Something is biting you. Okay, hopefully nothing too bad. We could hear, well, we saw one female, the same one that had been at the head of the pride during the morning. She all of a sudden decided to get up and went down the Molowati and started walking. And now they're not too far from here. I would say that in a straight line, it's probably about 500 meters or so from where the Impala are. And I think likely there's Senzo trying to kill a flying thing that's attacking him. They've been trying to, I think they heard the Impala that were alarming, and you can see there's a lot of them around. A lot of the boys are making what sounds like rutting noises already. There's a lot of, it almost sounds like a burp, and they were chasing each other, and all of a sudden they all started running. So I have a feeling that it's a very good possibility that the lions heard them, and that they're gonna start making their way over here at some point during the day to perhaps hunt them. It's the only prey species available that I've seen in the particular areas where they've been walking, and I wouldn't be surprised that they know exactly that this herd is here. They're just gonna wait and sleep a while before they actually decide to get mobile in this direction. Now, I think the chances of them having moved throughout the night are quite steep. I think they walked quite a little bit, especially if they went for a hunt. So wouldn't be surprised if they slept for the next few hours or so, but because it's a nice and overcast day, I think that we also have a chance of perhaps seeing them move around earlier this afternoon rather than later. Beautiful, all the tails, unsuspecting of the danger that's lurking ahead. Now, I think the Impala, if the sun starts shining, likely they're also going to move a little bit into the shade. There's a very beautiful open area where we saw the buffalo not too far a few days ago. So I think they're going to stick around here. There's lots of food and a lot of water for them to drink. So unless they figure out there are lions here, I don't see any reason why they would be leaving this general vicinity. I think we are, however, going to leave this general vicinity and perhaps go explore, see what's been happening in Treehouse Dam. Seems only natural that we head that way after checking this dam. And perhaps even maybe a little bit later we'll go back to the lions, see if they're still there. Because unfortunately they've decided to park on the tree of gremlins, or they've decided to lie down there, and it's a little bit tough to try and get signal down there. But they're all still there. All of them were grooming and enjoying the sand. I think probably the sand is more comfortable than the road that they were lying in, which is probably very hard due to the rain. And we're going to leave them there, and we're going to go in that direction, see what's happening at Treehouse Dam. RJ, if I could be an animal for a day, I would either be a leopard, just so that I could go up and climb trees, or I would be a hippo. I think those are my two options, and I would love to be a hippo because the whole day other than playing around. I feel like hippos have one of the best lives out here, just because of what they do and what I like doing. Sunbathing and just playing in the water the whole day sounds like a very good deal to me. So I think I would like to be a hippo, or if I only had one day and not a lifetime, maybe I would also like to be some sort of bird. Be a bird of prey, just to be able to see how everything looks from above. I think that would be quite a unique view. It's tough to call. Oh, got the noise of the arrow-marked babblers. Now, I think they're just behind the tree, but you can hear them all. Some of the noisiest birds that we get here. Now, there's one straight in front of us as well. There we go, right in that stump in front of us. Now they've all gone quiet. I'm flying around. Now, they are some of the funniest birds because they do what's called allomimetic behavior, which pretty much means that they'll mimic each other's behavior. So when one starts making the noise, they all join in and start making their blah 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 blah, blah calls. And they're just such mean looking things, and they're always making a noise. It's like a bunch of
I think we just lost Ali there for a second. So you saw some fresh tracks again of that male leopard. I think it's the same one that whose tracks you saw earlier, and possibly the same male we found yesterday afternoon. That Hookah male? I think so, just judging by the general direction he was going. But those looks like those. Excuse me. That didn't make sense. Those tracks look like they were from this morning. So I'm having a good look around here. I'm hoping maybe we hear an alarm call or something to help us find this leopard. Because he zigzags quite a lot just from the tracks that I've seen. It's been up and down, and I think that is usual behavior for a leopard who is trying to take over a new territory, trying to explore. So I think that's exactly why. Just have a look here. RJ, you asked if I could be an animal for a day, what would it be? It would have to be an elephant, and a honey badger. Yeah. Love to be a honey badger for a day. But yeah, honey badger and elephant. Those two. Honey badger actually more so first, and then elephant. I'm not sure where this leopard disappeared to, but he may even have gone. His tracks were heading west, so, and we're not far from our boundary. Actually, he has our western boundary just over here to my right, so he may even have crossed there last night or early this morning. Probably early this morning. Looks like an elephant or something has been walking around here. Look at this, it's quite interesting. So if you have a look in the road, just over there, let me jump out quickly and show you. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen it before. Occasionally people see this and they think, oh, perhaps a snake crossed the road. But what this is the elephant has walked along here and he's dragged his trunk along the ground, possibly picked up a bit of sand and thrown sand on his back. But yeah, I don't know. There have been one or two vehicles up and down this road, but this elephant definitely walked here this morning. I can hear some dwarf mongoose busy alarm calling at me. Let's see if we can see them quickly. Have a quick look here. And you see now with the long grass, it's actually difficult to spot them. Ali. Ali, you might get me into trouble here. You asked, what do I think of the name Hookah? Now, firstly, I want to clarify this. Does anyone know exactly what it means? Have they heard? I've heard it was, somebody said something about chicken medicine. Chicken medicine. Hookah. Okay. So, well, that's clarified. So that was my first question. My second question is, who named that leopard? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Sorry, well spotted, Via. See, heard the dwarf mongoose, and here they are, keeping a watchful eye on us. That's a lovely view. Well spotted, Via. So, Ali, I think maybe my reaction explains it all. I know some of you do laugh at me at times, and I know I can work James up a little bit, because when James Henry, because when we were training, we spent a lot of time speaking about how we guide and guiding techniques and so on, and the naming of animals, and I'm a little against it, not completely, a little against it. I'll tell you why. It's just I've guide people from all over the world, all over Africa, and when we see a leopard in an area, it doesn't matter where we are, it's beautiful and it's magnificent and it's special to see a leopard. Doesn't matter if it's a male or a female, and it especially doesn't matter what the name is, because it is just a magnificent leopard. However, Safari Live has created a wonderful scenario for us to get to know the animals a little bit better and to follow and really understand the movement of animals, I think, a lot better. So for the purpose of Safari Live, it's great to have our characters and the names, and 100% agree with it. But I still lean towards the not referring to the name as often. I try not to anthropomorphize the animals too much. I still believe in them being wild animals. They're not our pets at all. They are wild animals. But that's the thing. That's what's so wonderful about this, is everybody's different. Everybody's got a different perspective of things. I'm not saying one is right and the other is wrong. Not at all. I think it's just nice to have the different perspectives, and it's nice to have those discussions. And James Henry's definitely jumped on board with the naming of animals, and he says, and he had a good argument. He was saying, it does wonders for conservation in terms of getting to know animals. If something happens to them illegally, like poaching or whatever, it does create a massive discussion and a huge awareness. So I agree with that to an extent. But naming a leopard Hookah, I don't know why they decided on that name. It's like quarantine. No. Mr. Q, that male leopard that they named Quarantine. Why would you do that to a beautiful leopard? Oh well. Rising Lotus, you asked if I was an animal, what would I call myself? Yeah, Dumbo, the elephant. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Nelly the elephant. Nelly the elephant and Roger the honey badger. No, I don't know. As a honey badger, probably Shinzi, because honey badger in Shangaan is Shinzele. So maybe I'd call myself Shinzi. Well, that at least sounds a little bit better. Okay, let's go across to Ali now and find out if she's got any wacky, weird names or anything or what she thinks about naming animals.
I don't know, Byron. I feel like you might have the best ones in tow. I don't know what I would be called. Petunia the leopard? Alley Cat the lion? I don't know. I don't think my names are as cool as Byron's. I'm going to give him brownie points for that one because that was quite entertaining. Now, hiding in between the branches of the tree all the way down there, it's what appears to be a snake eagle. It was, of course, posing beautifully for us until Kirsty said that they were going to come to us, and then all of a sudden it just decided that no, not interested, and then flew away. Why? You're even going down to the vegetation. That's going out of your way to disappear from view. Now, I think that the one that we were looking at is this particular one, the brown snake eagle, which is this one over here. Now, I'm thinking it was this one because it had bare legs as far as I could tell, and a very distinct yellow eye. I think it might have been still as a juvenile by the time that it was posing out in the open for us. It didn't seem that it had its full colors, but I think I should get my eyes checked because in the past I have been known to see colors where there aren't, but I'm fairly certain that this was it also because of that very distinctive triangular shape of the head that this type of species of eagle has. Now, I'm not too sure where it's gone off to. I think it's gone into the drainage line, so we're going to carry on towards Treehouse Dam. Perhaps in the meantime we'll think of other names, or we'll give Byron time to think of other names. I would like to know if he were a hippo, what his name would be. I reckon Gloria the hippo is probably the best name for a hippo. I think it captures them in all their essence. But I don't know. Now, I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of squirrel alarming something. Would love to see Hosanna. Where has he been? I know he was at Chitwa last, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was just hanging out at Little Gowrie in this last few days. Hopefully he'll be somewhere around here. We're not too far from his area of operation. He just needs to stay clear of twin dams and he'll be fine and away from the sticks. Alright, we're almost at Treehouse Dam. Marie, we do get servals in South Africa. We actually get them here in the reserve that we're in. I, however, have not seen a serval in the Sabi Sand ever in my entire life, which is very sad, and I would definitely like to see them, but unfortunately I haven't been lucky enough. Now, Tristan, for example, I know he saw one when we were working at Simambili, which is very close to this area, and where he used to work at Chitwa. Apparently there was a serval that was very relaxed and very used to vehicles and used to pose beautifully for them. I have seen them not too far from here in the Kruger National Park, but unfortunately have not seen not even one, not even the traces of one all the way up here. The same for caracal and wildcat. They are in this area, but just haven't been lucky. Now, we have arrived at Treehouse Dam, and it seems like there are certain things going on, but interestingly there are a few blacksmith lapwings and a terrapin having a meeting. Maybe they're talking about the conditions of the water and how to fix it, how to make it clean again. Trying to go speak to the god of rain and make it rain so that it clears up. Potentially also kick Scuba Steve out of the dam so that everything is a little bit cleaner. Now there seems to be a mystery bird on the other shore. Seems to be, what are you? You look like a common sandpiper almost. Since I don't know if you can see it, just almost across on the other end of the dam from where the blacksmiths are. You see that fallen tree on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay, just a little bit further away. Right, we're gonna try to find this little one, but while we do that, let's head over to Tristan, who's also got a bird of prey.
I do indeed, and it's been a bird of prey morning, hasn't it? We've been very fortunate. Byron's been on fine form with the birds of prey, and, well, we have a African hawk eagle. Now, these guys are not often that easy to find sitting. They generally tend to be quite flighty and move away quite fast, and so really nice to get one as close as this. We're sitting here. There was two of them. The one has flown, but the other one is set nice and still, and you can see they've got this beautiful black and sort of silvery white mottled patterns on their back. Their front is a white color with lots of little black spots on it. And then they've got this bright yellow eye. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This is as good a view as you'll ever get of an African hawk eagle, that's for sure. Now, normally they are in pairs together. They pair together for life, and they'll actually hunt together cooperatively. So what you'll find is one sometimes will fly high and it comes down barreling towards guinea fowl, francolins, those kind of things, which is what they really like to go after, and spooks them. And as those birds fly up, the other one comes in and swoops and grabs them, and then they'll even share that meal, which is pretty cool. So these guys are incredible birds, and one of my favorites of the raptor species that we get out here. The fact that they do cooperatively hunt and their sort of look is very cool. Cat, so if you look at this bird's anatomy and you look at its beak and its eye, look at the size of the nostril opening and the beak there, and look at the size of the eye. That will give you an indication of which sense this bird uses to find food. They are predominantly eyesight that they are using, so birds of prey particularly use their eyes to spot prey items, and then they fly in and grab them. That's why most of them do have these massive eyes that they are able to use to see prey rather than sniff prey out. Sniffing prey out as a bird would be pretty difficult, given that when they fly there's different air currents up in those areas, and they probably wouldn't be able to smell half of the things that are down on the ground. So using their eyesight is their primary resource in order to find food, and that goes for most birds. In fact, it's not just the birds of prey, but most birds will be like that. I'm so surprised at how relaxed this hawk eagle is. I would have thought it would have flown by now. Like I say, they never really sit still when you drive up. So for us to be as close as we are is pretty special. Very cool to see. Thank you for that, little bird. Always nice to have one of them around. Now, we're in an area that we don't drive very often at all. This is on the sort of eastern side of Chitwa. It is very dense, very thick. It's not a place that is very friendly in terms of, one, spotting animals, and two, if you do spot an animal, to try and keep up with it. But I came this way because this is where Kuchava was seen recently with her little cub. So for those of you who don't know, Kuchava has had a little cub. We don't know exactly how old it is. We think around 2 months, maybe a little older than that. But it was seen on this road, in fact, right where we are right now. So we just came past here just to see if there's any sign of her. I did see tracks for a female leopard on the Chitwa a net cut line, and so she might have moved that cub into a net, but it was worth a shot just to kind of come along here and have a little look and see what's going on. The problem with here is our signal tends to be a little bit rough, which is not ideal. Now, I'm going to carry on with this road. Maybe we get lucky with Kuchava and her little one sitting on the road somewhere. Wouldn't that be nice? And while we try and look for her, let's send you back across to Ali, who's at Treehouse Dam, I believe, and is doing a proper dam rotation this morning.
Well, we are trying to figure out what this little one is, and every time I look away, it's when it turns sideways, and then that will be the most distinctive feature. Now, I am in between two species of sandpiper, the common sandpiper and the green sandpiper, as to what this particular one might be. And I think I'm going to go with common, just because it seems to have that white patch on top of its shoulder, which is a distinctive characteristic of the common sandpiper, if you compare it to the green one. I think that would probably be The one, turn around again, please. I would like to see more than just your fluffy back tethers. I think it's been absolutely loving eating all of the little insects and tadpoles, and I think even little fish that are on the shore of the edge of the water. Treehouse Dam is an interesting place. All you have to do is spend enough time around here, and then certain things that you've never seen here before will start popping out of nowhere. And I wonder, I think Byron was here yesterday where he saw all the alates and the different eagles and everything else coming down to try and eat a Treehouse Dam. Now, because there isn't another big water hole around us, perhaps the only one is the Twin Dams, this is a very good stopover for many creatures, not only for the small birds, but also for all the big cats and bigger creatures around here. I think that if perhaps those two leopards hadn't bumped into each other yesterday, we might have found one of them very close to Treehouse Dam. Well, at one point they were all walking around here. Lions, leopards, it was pretty much chaos yesterday. Now, I think this pretty one is almost done for the day. So we're gonna head onto the pans on Chibamu, see if there's anything around there. We've been quite lucky the last few days. Every time we go down there, either with elephants or other creatures being there. So who knows, maybe they'll be there. Maybe there'll be another elephant down at the bottom of the rainbow that we still haven't found today. But we're gonna carry on searching. This water is not looking ideal though, I must say. I'm surprised that animals do come and drink it. And I think it's part of the reason why, for example, also because of opportunity, why the sticks drank from that small puddle full of mud. Sometimes it's better to drink from those ones because yes, it is muddy, but the water in general is potentially cleaner than the one that they would find in here. This is almost starting to look like a bog. It's not looking all that pretty. I'm gonna make my way around Chibamu Pan, see if there's anything lurking in there. But while I do that, let's head over to Byron and find out if he were a hippo, what would he call himself?
If I was a hippo, I don't know. But look, there's another giraffe. That's so funny. We saw one this morning and it's hiding now. Can you see it through there? View? Maybe just the legs. But another giraffe. If I was a hippo, Wally the hippo. That's what I would be called. Wally, because I wallow. See, it's so funny. It's so funny how once you, I mean, we went quite a few days without seeing a giraffe, and then as soon as you see one, the rest, all of a sudden you start seeing a lot more of these animals. VM's favorite, the giraffe. VM is not a fan of the giraffe. Proud cat mama. Yes, the giraffe do have front teeth, as far as I know. Just trying to think. Yeah, I'm almost certain they do. Sure. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. I'll double check the dental structure, but I'm sure the giraffe have got front teeth. Sure, proud cat mama. Interesting question, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. All right, let's carry on. I'll double check that though. I will double check, but I'm sure the giraffe have got front teeth. Maybe if somebody can Google it back home and let me know just the dental structure of giraffe. Let's just make sure on this one. I don't want to give you the wrong information. So funny how things change in the bush. The other day we drove through here The other day we drove through here, there was a lot of Impala, there was zebra, warthogs. Now there's nothing really. Interesting how it changes. Laura Moore, you say the giraffe only have front incisors on the lower jaw, nothing on the upper jaw. So yeah, so that would make sense. See, they've only got teeth on the lower jaw so they can whistle better. I'm joking, that's not why. Let's see what happens when you have a fairly quiet morning like we had today. Oh, we saw some elephants, but Viam and I had a rather quiet morning. A few nice birds. The tawny eagle was nice, the vultures. Not too much else going on for us. We've been driving around quite a bit. That leopard was just a bit too elusive for us this morning and disappeared. And it's getting very, very hot now. I'm sure all the predators, or most of them at least, will start settling down if they have been moving around because of it being so hot. Alright, well, let's go to Cupid himself with a pair of buffalo weavers.
Well, a little late for Valentine's Day, but certainly getting into the act of things, as you can see there. Our male and female buffalo weavers are, well, yes, doing the dirty. And it is quite feisty and quite repetitive, I must be honest. It just doesn't stop with these guys. They're busy mating excessively at the moment, so this poor female seems as though she's trying to get away, gets pinned down by the male. It doesn't look ideal, does it? But it's happening. There we go. Now you'll see what will happen is they're going to break apart. The female goes away and then she comes back for more. You would think she doesn't want to carry on, but she definitely kind of is the one that's inciting this act. But it's very awkward, isn't it? What is going on now? He's almost falling off. Oh, there we go. So they've broken apart now. Now let's see if they come back together again. No, he's flown away. She's still there. So she's just lower down, Ferg, sitting on the branch. But he's had enough by the looks of things and has gone away. So she's just lower down. Oh, there she is. Sorry, higher up, should I say. So she's just sitting. Now, what? Another male come back in. He flew away, though. I think he's done. That's enough for him. And there we go. That's it, I think, for now. She needs to just, I think, sort herself out. There's going to be a few ruffled feathers there, for sure. After all of that, it was a bit chaotic, I would say. Yes, there we go. Got to get everything back in order to look prim and proper, as though nothing happened. Well, that was fun. Well done, birds. There's a few new weavers on their way, apparently. Very, very cool to see. Not every day you're going to see something like that, that's for sure. It's my probably only second or third time I've seen buffalo weavers mate. And very odd place that they're mating. They're kind of mating well away from any of the nesting areas. Maybe they just decided they wanted a bit of privacy down by the meandering Mulawinini riverbed before they kind of went back to where, you know, the rest of the families are and kids that are hanging around. Oh, there's a big bull elephant as well, with a rather stormy sky behind it. The sun has just peeked out and it's making everything look a lot darker than what it is. It actually does look like rain is on its way. Just to the south of us, looks like there's some rain happening there. Is this Daryl? Could be Daryl. Looks like Daryl. So hold on, Fergus. I'm just going to get us up on top here. We've got a beautiful view of those dark, stormy clouds. Ooh. Ashlyn, that's an interesting question. You want to know what animal has the most awkward mating, in my opinion. I don't know, actually. Tortoise is a good one. Cursed tortoise is pretty weird. I think also something like a frog. Frogs have rather odd mating displays as well. I suppose a cat is not ideal either if you're a female. It can't be very comfortable to have a male with a barb on the end of his tackle. That's definitely not going to be nice at all. So I think there's a lot of them that are pretty awkward, and yeah, it's an awkward subject in general, actually. But yeah, I think tortoises are quite... The problem with a tortoise, I think, Kirst, is that the female is generally double the size of the male. So it's really difficult for him to actually get onto the side of where the female, or onto the top of the female. Then the shells complicate things. There's tails that are in the way. It all gets very weird, and it's quite funny to watch, I must be honest. The tortoises' faces are what really make me laugh every single time. So I suppose tortoise is a good one. Baboons is also a pretty awkward moment when baboons get going. The thing about them is they not only do it a lot, but they also are very vocal when they do it, and the whole world knows that a baboon is mating if they are in the area. So elephants as well is also a pretty interesting thing, and rhino is actually, funny enough, rhino is also a very weird mating story. The male is obviously massive, and the poor female has a tough time when the male's trying to get there, and he's got a very, what should we say, very supple male genital that goes all over the place, and that causes a lot of hilarious moments when male rhinos are doing their thing. Anyway, let's get to our elephant. I'm not sure if it is Daryl. I can't see the left ear, which is what indicates whether it's Daryl or not. Daryl's got a bell-shaped hole in his left ear. It doesn't look like this male's got that. It's the right kind of size and tusk shape to be Daryl. I mean, I think Daryl might have slightly bigger tusks than what this male has got. I can't see his ear nicely. Come on, turn a little bit for us. Oh, you're not going to turn, are you? But I don't see a hole in that ear. Do you, Fergus? No. That left ear looks nice and whole and full, so I don't think it is Daryl. It's just a very similar looking bull to Daryl. Daryl hasn't been seen in the last few days, and if you're a new viewer and have no idea who Daryl is, well, Daryl is a elephant that roams around the Sabi sands from north to south and causes trouble wherever he goes. He's quite a character. He comes into the lodges and picks the plants out of the river, of the flower beds. He is known to sometimes break and enter ladies' rooms. Kirsty's room in particular got broken into the other day by Daryl. I wonder if it's because Kirsty was wooing Daryl from her window. Maybe he liked kind of the way that Kirsty did things and just wanted to kind of see and get to know her better. But he does that. Does he like the smell of your room, Kirsty? Were you baiting him with marulas? Was there marulas in your room? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. There's a lot of marulas outside Kirsty's room, but vanilla diffuser. Yes, Daryl is partial to vanilla. He does like a vanilla scent. Saw him the other day looking at your vanilla diffuser and eyeing it out and thinking to himself, well, that would go quite nicely as maybe an aftershave. Imagine Daryl sprayed vanilla diffuser all over himself. It'd be quite entertaining to just smell this vanilla smelling elephant walking past. I think it would be quite funny to see what the other Ellies did. But Daryl, like I say, is a character and he hangs around, and so he's been a bit of a menace in the last few weeks, and now all of a sudden he seems to have left our area. He's probably gone to more marulas somewhere else where he can go and cause a bit of trouble. But this is an incredible specimen of a bull elephant. He's massive. It seems like quite an old fella. If you look on his temples, the skin on the temple area is sunken in quite a bit. So if you look there, you see how that's kind of caved in a little bit. Now that indicates age on elephants. The older they get, the more that sinks in. And so this bull must be on the older side of life. Given his size of his and thickness of his tusks and his body, I would say probably he's in his 40s, which is fairly old. You can see that tusk is broken at some point and then worn again and becomes smooth, so he's definitely been around for a while. Ferg, I'm going to just reposition us quickly. Irene, I've never seen an elephant with a skin disease like mange. The elephant's a funny thing. It's an animal that very seldom suffers from any of the natural sort of problems that a lot of the animals have. So disease, skin diseases, any of those kind of things, elephants somehow manage to deal with most of it, and there's very little that actually can bring an elephant down. They suffer sometimes from anthrax, but it's not that common to see on them. You find a lot of other animals are far worse off than ellies, but I've never seen mange or any of those skin diseases. And probably the reason why is that one is elephants have very little hair on them, so a lot of the parasites battle to be able to climb onto an elephant. Secondly, their skin is very thick, and so parasites battle to find an area where they can penetrate their jaws and actually feed off the elephant in any way. And thirdly, elephants are meticulous about looking after themselves, so they wallow a lot, they swim a lot, they dust bathe a lot, and that means that they keep their skin in very good condition. And so it's not really a chance for things like mites and parasites to really propagate on an elephant's skin and to cause too much havoc. So I haven't seen anything like that. The only issues I've ever seen with elephant skin is either a wound from fighting or wounds from burns, unfortunately. So felt fires that we get out here, or bushfires, that sometimes will cause burns on an elephant, and especially around their legs and their stomach area. So those are the only wounds I've really ever seen. I've never seen anything in terms of, like I say, a parasite causing infections or anything like that. Giraffe are far more susceptible to it than something like an elephant. But you can see it's still marula time, so they're still just walking along, feeding. I wonder if he's maybe got a little... Do you have a little abscess or a little hole on your trunk? Because interestingly enough, if you look on the middle of his trunk, just below his tusks, there's a patch of dirt that is there, and he's just sprayed dirt there again. So I wonder if maybe there's a little wound somewhere there. Is there a wound? I can't see nicely. There's lots of glare. There looks like a wound. Is there a wound there? So they do this when they've got a wound. They spray dust on it. It keeps the flies off, and it almost just seals everything. Yes, there is one. Between the two tusks, there is a slight little gash there, and that would have been probably caused maybe by competing with another elephant. Sorry, I'm going to go back again, because of course there would be one tree in the way that he would walk behind. He seems to be a bit of a shy ellie. He kind of just goes behind the trees all the time. It's actually just because he's feeding off marulas as he goes, but there we go. So he's a beautiful bull there, and seriously relaxed. He's in no way given us any trouble whatsoever. He's just kind of sitting, feeding on his marulas and being an absolute gentleman. I wonder how many times he's eaten a marula. It would be interesting how many marulas he's consumed in his life. So Cecilia, it is true actually that elephants don't forget. They are animals that have very large brains and are incredibly intelligent, and they are animals that need to remember things in order to survive. So because they are such big animals, and a bull elephant like this could easily travel all the way to the southern part of the Kruger, up to the northern part of the Kruger and back here, if they forgot where they were going and they forgot what they were doing, it would make life very difficult. And so they're animals that are very intelligent and need to be able to remember what they're doing and where to find food sources like marulas. Right, from the colossal and the great, let's send you across to Byron, who I'm not saying is a little baby or a little small animal, but he's got a rather small friend to show all of you.
Tristan, I do have something small and interesting to show you though. Just caught a glimpse of this little guy on the road. Have a look at that. Now, I do apologize, I don't know what lizard this is. Looks almost like a small species of agama, but I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know the species of lizard. And that's the amazing thing, is there's so many different species of little lizards out here that it's sometimes hard to identify. But what I'll do is, I'm sure there's a reptile book back at camp. Try and have a look and see what lizard this is. Beautiful little, it's tiny, it's not that big. Reptilian research, you say nice, you love this lizard. Well, reptilian research, can you tell us what lizard it is? Seeing as you do research on reptiles. least there's a little bit of a cool breeze now and some cloud cover again to cool things down. It was getting very hot at one stage. Right, now I heard a bird calling around here. It sounded like a young cuckoo, but it's now kept quiet. Oh well, let's continue. Some elephant tracks along here. I think we've got some fun planned for this afternoon, something different for Tristan, Ali and myself. I'm not sure if they've mentioned it yet. Kirst, are we allowed to mention it? Are we not allowed to? Okay. So we're doing a treasure hunt. Treasure hunt, or kind of like an amazing race treasure hunt clue competition, which will be a lot of fun. And what we're going to do is I think we're going to get all of you back home involved. You're going to help us with the clues, and it should be a lot of fun, something different. It's always nice to have light-hearted safaris from time to time. Have a bit of fun. Well, you know, I always believe in having fun on a safari, but also learning at the same time and enjoying it. That's the most important thing. Otherwise it can get a bit boring. I mean, it's wonderful to learn, but if you just ramble on about scientific information on and on and on, you lose your guests and they'll get very bored very quickly. So I think it's important to make it interesting, precise, and have the correct information. It is important to have all the information behind you, but there are ways of making it more interesting for people when they are on safari. Some of you are already saying that sounds fun for this afternoon. Yeah, it should be. Okay, let's go back across to Chitwa Tristan. He's been down there a lot. Let's go find out what he's up to.
Well, I'm trying to find a bird that doesn't see that often, that is sitting in the grass. You need to watch out at the fall. Audio, so
sorry, okay, well, Tristan battling some technical issues there. Jared, where's Jared? Kirsten says Jared is sipping coffee next to her in the final control. Oh well, at least he's got his priorities right. It must be getting fairly close to breakfast. Yeah, another few minutes because I can feel my stomach starting to grumble. Grumble, rumble, it's a bit of both really. Let's go across to Ali, another coffee lover, and find out if her stomach is starting to rumble.
Definitely starting to rumble, Byron, and I cannot wait until we go. There's a squirrel that's making a noise, and I can't pinpoint where the squirrel is, but it's been going. As every time I go back to the road, then it sounds like she's pointing in this direction. I just want to go down here. Oh, definitely from behind us. So I don't know if she's looking at a snake or potentially a leopard. But where are you, squirrel? Let's see. Maybe there's someone hiding here somewhere. Can you see the squirrel? Where is the squirrel? Okay. Can't see the squirrel. Is it you that's making a noise? Yes, and you're looking onto the other side. Okay, let's head back onto the road and then cross onto the other side of the... Maybe you're looking at something on the other side, on the other block. Let's see quickly. Alright, Squirrel. What you looking at? Let's just have a look, because you never know. When squirrels constantly call like that, it could be that there's... Well, I'm hoping that there's going to be a leopard somewhere. So I'm going to go and investigate to see what this leopard has, this squirrel has seen. Gina, squirrels eat all sorts of different plant material. They'll eat seeds, they'll eat fruits. They also love the marula trees, or the marula fruits, all different fruits that things produce. And then little insects, they might try and eat them too. I just want to look around here because it's very thick. Byron has found a water buck, so let's head over to him while we try to maneuver around the bush.
Now, I can also hear squirrels' alarm calling. Sorry, just getting back to what Ellie was saying. But it's so thick here. We found a water buck hiding in the bush, but nothing else. It seems quite relaxed. And I think sometimes the squirrels do get a bit paranoid. Maybe they see a bird of prey flying around. They could have seen anything really. It could have been a snake. Owen, you say that little lizard looked like a common rough-scaled lizard. Okay, Owen, well, I will definitely go and have a look at that and see. Thank you very much. We'll go and check and see if it was a common rough-scaled lizard, if it occurs in this area. Now, Jared apparently has given up tech and has gone into research, and he agrees. He says he thinks it is a common rough-scaled lizard, which is great. So I'll have to try and look that up and have a better look at that lizard that we saw earlier. See, these drainage lines, always great to check for animals. And there's an Impala, beautiful Impala ram. Wow, he's in good condition. Very, very good condition. There's a lot of food and water around at the moment. You can see it busy chewing the cud over there. So they do regurgitate their food and re-chew it and swallow it again. And getting back to the giraffe teeth and the giraffe jaw. Thanks very much for those sending some information through. But the giraffe have got lower teeth, front lower teeth, but they don't really use it as much. They've got pads on the top and the bottom of the mouth that allows them to tear leaves across. But apparently the teeth are grooved, which allows them to strip leaves off a lot easier. But nothing at the top, so just one of those hard pallets like a lot of herbivores. The best I could describe it is possibly like a cow or a buffalo. They've got these thick pads on the top and the bottom, and then the rest of the teeth are at the back of the jaw. There's actually quite a large gap between those few front teeth on the lower mandible, and a gap, and then the rest of the teeth up and bottom mandible, or jaw rather. All right. Still no sign of a leopard this morning. We had tracks, but unfortunately Just no sign. Okay, well, I had a look at those squirrels alarm calling. We didn't find anything, but let's go to Ali, find out if her squirrels are onto anything.
Well, it seems like our squirrels may not have led us to anything either, Byron. The squirrel has gone silent now since we last saw it, and I wonder if it maybe could see a bird of prey that we couldn't, or a snake or another sort of predator, because absolutely couldn't see anything. We did go around, because I know this particular block is one of the favorites for Hosanna and Tamba, so I thought perhaps they were in there. We went and checked a few of the termite mounds where we found them in previous times, but it doesn't seem like there's anything. And it was all consistent roughly with the direction to which the squirrel was looking and alarming, but seems like no luck. But at least it gives us a sort of like a starting point to start looking for someone in the afternoon. Maybe we'll get lucky with some tracks. Mr. T, we get two types of squirrels in South Africa. We get the tree squirrel, which is the one that we saw because they tend to nest on the trees. And they are the smaller ones. They're about of a brownish color. And then we get the ground squirrels, which are a lot bigger, almost look like a prairie dog. And they are of that reddish color with those stripes on the side. They live in more desert areas, and they're called ground squirrel because rather than going up for trees to safety, they actually nest underground, almost like a mongoose type of attitude. So we get those two. In this area, however, we only get the tree squirrels. We don't get the ground squirrels. Would be pretty to see them. Oh, Byron is being very romantic and has found a butterfly with the flowers. So let's head home to him because I'm sure it's going to be entertaining.
Oh, the butterfly just flew away. It looked like an acrea, but there is a beautiful flower. Wild hibiscus. Isn't that lovely? Sometimes we need to stop and smell the flowers. But it is a really vibrant yellow. Now we're not far from camp. We're going to start making our way back a little bit. But it is a very good friend of mine's birthday today, and he's actually a Safari Live fan. He does watch a lot. Mark, it's Marky's birthday. He's getting on in years. Happy birthday, Marky. Hope you have a great day. He does watch a lot, so hopefully he's learning something on his birthday. I will not sing because that will just probably decrease in our viewer or amount of viewers, that's for sure. So I'm not going to sing. Him and his wife actually got engaged in the bush. They came and visited me at Londolozi one year and they got engaged there. So it just shows you how much they love it. I think the bush can be a very romantic place though. The flowers and all the animals, and very relaxing. PT, you said thank you for the flower, only a pleasure. It was a beautiful flower, nice to see that. It's funny, I've seen quite a few wild hibiscus and those blue comelinas, and that's about it at the moment. I was hoping to see some lion's eye, but I haven't seen any. Those beautiful red little flowers, maybe they're just not flowering this time of year. See if there's anything up on the clearings above camp. Ah, there's an elephant. And a warthog, or two, or three. Let me stop here. Hang on. Maybe we can get the elephant and the warthog. Oh, there we go. Viam, is that alright? Warthog next to the marula and elephant on the clearing. That's beautiful. There goes the warthog. Now I think this must be the same family that we've seen regularly on the clearings above camp. And they always lots of grass, nice open area for them. So they're very, very happy. as happy as a pig in mud. There goes an elephant. Jen, so our treasure hunt will start at the beginning of drive this afternoon for our sunset safari. So right at the beginning. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to start driving a little bit, see if we can get a better view of that Ellie. So I hope you've all enjoyed the drive this morning. At least there were some lions that Tristan and Ali got to see. We'll see what we find this afternoon. Even though we'll be doing a treasure hunt, we'll obviously still be looking for wildlife. That's a nice view of that elephant in the clearing. There we go. So, big thank you to Tristan and Ali again, and of course Senzo and Ferg with them. And thank you very much, Viam, for keeping me company this morning and filming all the birds. Sorry I didn't find you a leopard. I'll try this afternoon. Thanks, Kirsten. And a big thank you to everyone for sending the questions and comments. We'll see you this afternoon for our sunset safari. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.